just there we go. I am now recording this, so if you object to that, please raise your hand and I'll ignore you. So for content, firstly, I do want to talk about our choice of subject matter. When we come to make a video, it's important to actually answer questions that are really being asked. Answer the questions that people have in their mind. So one way to do this is to look at something called Google Keyword Planner, which is a free resource, and it will show you how many hits a certain term has, and it will then tell you how much competition, so how many sites are offering information on that. A good suggestion here is to go for something that has 10,000 to 100,000 hits but has low competition. One keyword I found that did that was Redditch. So if you wanted to make videos with the word Redditch in them, how does God's word speak to Redditch? What is God saying to Redditch today? Things like this would actually hit a market that people are genuinely tapping into, and also there's not that many videos out there at the moment, so that's an option. That's just a thought. However, that was an aside. Here is the bit that I've actually PowerPointed. Hooks, represented today by Maui's hook from the film Moana. When you get people to watch your video, you have about 10 seconds before they decide to shut it off and go off to another video. There's more content being posted to YouTube every day than any single person could watch in a lifetime, which is a scary statistic. We have to stand out from the crowd, and therefore we need to get a hook in at the beginning. There's several ways to do this. The two ways I'm going to suggest to you are: take a juicy bit from your sermon and put it at the beginning, or, and this is the way I usually do it, start off with a question. Do you ever feel like YouTube could be doing more for you? And you're hooked. You want to know the answer to that. Was Jesus a terrorist? Immediately, you've got a lot of people watching and thinking, ooh, what's he going to say next? That's controversial. The answer is no, by the way, in case anyone was wondering. Spoiler. I might even use that one for my talk in a couple of Sundays' time, which I'm currently writing. Intros. You need to deliver on your promise and do it quickly. What's your promise? Your promise is the promise that you make with your title and your thumbnail. The thing that people have clicked on. They've clicked on you for a reason. You need to deliver on that promise. You need to, if you've said in your thumbnail, was Jesus a terrorist? You need to deliver on that quickly, and not waffle on about, well, similar to what I'm doing now, in fact. But no waffle at the beginning. Waffle can come later if you need to waffle. Don't waffle. I'm just enjoying the word waffle now. I've got to move on because I'm waffling. But deliver on your promise in your introduction. Make sure that they know that they haven't just fallen for some clickbait. A catchphrase is an option. This would be an option less for a church website. Joe, this might be very relevant for you. People who do this well are John McCrae of What Do You Meme? I don't know if you've ever come across that one. No. He looks at atheist memes and he debunks them using he's actually quite a careful thinker. He's a lot of fun to watch. But he ends every video with, "So next time you hear someone say YouTube can do nothing for you, what are you going to say? What do you mean?" And it's a catchphrase. It's easily recognizable, and whenever you see it, yeah, you go straight to it. Another one is Mike Winger, who will come up a couple more times in this presentation. Mike Winger, he talks about thinking biblically about everything. This is the channel for you to learn to think biblically about everything. And this catchphrase, he says at the beginning of every video, so that you know exactly what he stands for. You know exactly where he is. That's an option. If that's not your style, then I don't expect you to go away and become the fast show overnight. But that is a way to mark out your videos. And I had an email from someone I respect and love dearly, who gave me a critique of one of my sermons, and it was the most useful email I think I've ever received. And he gave me some pointers. Have one key, sticky idea. If you have too many ideas, and this is my frequent failing, if you have too many ideas, people will not take them in. So have one idea and make it sticky. Make it stick in people's minds. Think about your audience and purpose. Think about the language you use. And you should always KISS. Does anyone know what that stands for?
Keep it simple, stupid.
Close. Keep it simple, saints.
Yeah, sorry. That's better.
I usually make it keep it simple, students, but for tonight we can say keep it simple, saints. Don't overcomplicate things. That's as theologians, we are always tempted to do the exact opposite of what Jesus did. He took very, very complex ideas and made them simple enough that fishermen and farmers could understand them. And what theologians tend to do is the exact opposite. We take simple truths and just dress them up in very complicated language. That is another one of my failings. So keep it simple, saints. Are there any questions from this slide? That's good news. In which case, let's do an exercise. I would like you to go into breakout rooms, and I'd like to think of a takeaway and a hook. So think of what your takeaway is going to be from a verse, and what the hook for that sermon or talk would be. And I would like you to do it on a 316. So breakout room 1, I would like you to take, because it's 1, Genesis 3:16. Breakout room 2, I'd like you to try 1 Samuel 3:16. And breakout room 3, I would like you to look at Acts 3:16. Each of those should be easy. I am now going to stop my share. Boom. We're still recording, but we won't be in a moment because I'm going to send you into 3 breakout rooms. Ready? Let's go. Hello, team.
Hello. Pleased we got you.
Only for a moment or two. I'll go to the other rooms as well. So you're looking at Acts 3:16. So I suggest one of you finds it and reads it, and then think of what could be a hook, what could be a takeaway. I don't expect you to write an entire sermon Oh, straight
I,
away.
I have it here.
Go ahead.
By faith in the name of Jesus, this man whom you see and know was made strong. It is Jesus' name and the faith that comes through him that has completely healed him, as you can all see. Want me to read it again, just so we've got it in our minds? By faith in the name of Jesus, this man whom you see and know was made strong. It is Jesus' name and the faith that comes through him that has completely healed him, as you can all see.
Okay. Which version? Which I've got the Living Translation here, and it's something similar. It says, "Through faith in the name of Jesus, this man was healed. You know how crippled he was before. Faith in Jesus' name has healed him before your very eyes."
Yes, that was the New International Version, apparently.
New Living Translation. That was New International. Okay.
Yeah.
So we're looking for a takeaway, was it? So
A takeaway and a hook.
and a hook.
Your hook should be linked to your takeaway.
Right.
Oh, hello, Tim.
Hello, team. How are we doing?
Terrible.
We're trying to get to
Dreadful
sleep, but somebody keeps saying, "Wake up, Samuel, wake up."
Yes, that voice. It's amazing what 316s do for you, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay. So what would your takeaway be from this? And what would your hook be?
Well, that's what I think what we haven't quite got to yet, but obviously, "Here I am, Lord" seems to be one of the phrases that's comes fairly straightforwardly.
Heavily applicable, isn't it?
Yeah. I'm listening, isn't it? You see, that's the. Yeah.
I mean, you've got the mystery of who is actually talking, because it's not Eli, he's asleep.
Nor his sons, who are rotters.
Yeah.
I do feel bad.
Here I am, but where am I?
Yeah.
Late night hide and seek.
I suppose you could say, was it just a dream? Just to be controversial.
Nice. That would be a hook. Okay, I'm going to nip to room one.
Right. Yep. So
Oh, here he is.
Hello, guys. How are we doing?
All right.
We didn't know how long we had.
Yeah.
I'll call you all back in a minute or two. How are you doing with Genesis 1? Oh, sorry, Genesis 3.
This is 3. We had a series of questions, I think, didn't we?
Joe, was it? Joe came up with birth pains.
Ah, nice.
I said, "Are you in pain?"
Yeah.
And I said, "Men rule."
And in this room, you can probably get away with it.
Yeah.
Oh, but even if you couldn't get away with it, if you were, would it not create a little interest?
Absolutely. It's controversial, and it'll get all the feminists clicking on it to be angry.
Yeah.
They have a nice pre-offended position to help with. Good.
Yeah. Yeah. Was there more than one thing to do, Tim?
A hook and a takeaway.
Hook and a takeaway. Yeah. We've got the hook, perhaps we haven't got the takeaway yet.
Thinking about application can be a help.
I think such a small verse, and I may be weaving this completely incorrectly, but I think I'd go into the birth of Christ or fearfully and wonderfully made, Psalm 139, sort of move into that. So it's an encouragement and a promise.
Yeah.
So I'd sort of steer it and weave it into that, but I don't know whether that's an appropriate use of this passage.
Yeah. That's fine.
I think with this one,
Or suggesting.
Sorry, I'm.
No. Or suggesting an avenue for release, something to relieve pain. If you brought pain in the beginning, then maybe the takeaway would be where to find relief.
Pain relief.
Mm.
Yeah, good one. Yeah.
Yeah, pain relief. Nice.
That's a relief.
Take the tablets. Take a moment.
Okay, I'm going to close the rooms and we'll all come back together. If you'd like one of you to decide who you'd like to feed back to the group.
Okay.
All right.
Thanks, Charles.
Or not.
Okay. Welcome back. I hope that was a fruitful discussion. Let's hear what we thought. Genesis 1. What's your hook and takeaway?
Genesis 3. Yeah.
So, group 1, Genesis 3:16.
Any other volunteers?
So I read the verse. The verse is, to the woman he said, I will make your pains in childbearing very severe. With painful labor you will give birth to children. Your desire will be for your husband, and he will rule over you.
Yeah, so the hook, we thought, being controversial, men rule, question mark. I can't remember what the takeaway was.
Propose that, will we?
Nick is nodding. Nick is saying that's.
I'd watch that because I'd want to contradict you. Yeah, how dare you?
I told you that there'd be some pre-offended feminists. Yeah, good. What about a takeaway?
I can't remember what we decided upon. Sorry.
Where to find relief?
Good one. Yeah. Okay. What about 1 Samuel? Group 2.
Okay, I'll just say, I mean, here I am, Lord, is what 1 Samuel's all about. You know, keeps waking up and asking yes and saying, no, it's not me talking to you. So here I am, Lord, is the start head, I think. And then we had a couple of thoughts, which one may be the takeaway and one may be the hook. I'm not quite sure. One is, was it all a dream? Controversial, perhaps. Or the other one might be the takeaway one is, are you listening? So there you go.
With a capital
With a capital Y and a capital O and a capital U.
Yeah. Good plan. And what about Acts 3:16? Group 3.
Okay, so we had, it's through faith in the name of Jesus, this man was healed, and you know how crippled he was before. Faith in Jesus' name has healed him before your very eyes. We had a hook from Roz, which was absolutely wonderful. Can you trust this eyewitness account?
Okay, good.
And then we kind of got to a takeaway in a general synopsis, something on the lines of faith in Jesus can heal others through you.
Ooh.
You can take that away and unpack that.
Yeah, a lot of unpacking to do. Again, I'd click on that video. Sounds very good. Excellent. Let's move on to our next point. Our next point for discussion. So I'm sharing again, and I forgot to do this, which is a shame because I animated it beautifully. With Mary's hooking hamburgers and chips. Okay. Recording. Now this is an area where many of you, particularly Keith, will know a lot more than me. So feel free to contradict me if you think I'm talking out of my hat. I don't have a hat with me. So first of all, I would like to say audio. And even if you're recording on a camera phone, most phones these days can record in 1080p, which is what you're seeing me in now. 1080p is HD. That's good enough. And that's not where you want to be investing, because most people actually don't watch YouTube videos. They listen to them. So if you want yourself to stand out, you want your videos to stand out, your audio, you should concentrate on your audio. If you are going to invest in anything, and you don't have to, But if you're going to, I would recommend investing in a mic. Now, I have spoken to people who know what they're talking about, and the two mics that are quite good on the market and won't break the bank are Rode, R-O-D-E, and Yeti, Blue Yeti, which is the one that you can see in front of you. And I have a mic very similar to that. When I say they won't break the bank...
That's the one I'm using at the moment.
Look at that. So you can see the people in the know are using this, and so am I.
It might not sound any better though.
Hey, you're sounding pretty good. You're sounding pretty good. Yeah, if you, when I say they won't break the bank, I looked on Amazon. We're looking around about 150 quid for a decent mic. So it depends what you're investing and how much you can claim back from your church for doing so. And if you're, obviously, I don't recommend sharing a mic at this juncture in history, but you know, that's also an option. I'll tell you about my setup very quickly. I have, as I say, a Blue Yeti in front of me. I've put, you can just about see a surround on it. That's a sound absorbing surround, so that it won't take in all the background noises, which is usually my daughter and occasionally my wife shouting at me. It won't pick those up. It'll just, and it won't, here's the important one, it won't pick up the sound of your computer whirring. So that's a help. Whether it's any good, you can judge for yourself, either by listening to me here or watching some of the videos I've produced. Let's move on. As I said, your camera's not a big deal. Most cameras will record for exactly what you want for this thing. You don't need to invest in a DSLR. You can if you want, particularly if you're into photography and you want to do something particularly special. You don't need to go out and buy yourself a drone, but if you do, please can I borrow it occasionally, because I'd love a drone. What is much more important is eye contact. Tricks used to be important. About 20, 30, 40 years ago, all the views went to the big studios which could do all these sorts of cinema tricks. People don't care about that anymore. People want connection. So make sure you're looking at your camera. The way I do this, I have a ring light. Here it is. There's my ring light. Ba-boom. And I put my camera in the middle of my ring light, and I look just over my camera at the words on my screen, because I don't have an auto cue. Feel free to get yourself an auto cue if you want, but I don't have one. I don't think we really need one. But try and get your eyes as close to the camera at all times. The more you look away, the more you're looking all over the place or down at your notes, the more you're disconnecting with your audience. So try and get that right. I know, by the way, that I'm doing it wrong tonight, because I know that I'm looking over here at my video to make sure that, you know, my green screen hasn't fallen down or something. But I should be looking straight here, and that's a key point. Next point is location, location, location. Yes, you should have 3 locations. Switch it up. Now, there's various ways you can do this. You can, I do it using a green screen. So what you see behind me is a green screen. There it is. But I also put videos behind me, or pictures of beautiful places, or places connected with my sermon. There's Mount Sinai. There's Mount Tabor, or a picture of the church. Whichever I'm putting behind me, that is I change it regularly within my video. For some of you, if you're recording this on a camera, then take it outside the house, record a section in your garden, record a section in your living room, record a section at Bawdsley Abbey. Wherever you happen to be, change it regularly and try and make it relate to where you are. It'll make it more visually interesting. And post-production. Keith, I know you're already familiar with these. Davinci Resolve. You can use any video editing platform software you like. I would like to recommend Davinci Resolve for 2 reasons. Firstly, it is extraordinarily professional. You can do a lot with it. You can get a really fantastic result with it. And the second reason is because it's free. You can pay about £300 for the professional one if you want to. But why would you want to? The free one does everything you could possibly want. It is a really, really good program. You do need a good enough computer to run it. So I suggest you would need, I have an i5 processor, 10th generation processor, and that's fast enough to cope with it. I did need to buy a new computer to download it on. It's not a small file, not a small program, but it is a good one. If you want to get an i7 10th generation processor, then you're going to do it a lot quicker and a lot more effectively. The other resource I put across to you is Vidivo. I don't know if I'm even saying that right, which is a website where you can get free videos, stock videos. They do offer paid premium ones as well. So make sure that you click that option off, because otherwise you're going to start trying to download it and it's just going to have watermarks all over and it won't look professional. It'll look just silly. But I download these a lot. The video of the world turning, for example, that I used in the first slide, that came from Vidivo. So it's a good idea to go there, have a look, see what they've got, see if they've got anything relating to your sermon topic or your video, and using that, it makes the whole video much more visually interesting and engaging. Okay, now would anyone like to ask any questions or make any comments here? Keith, feel free to contradict anything I've said, because you know a lot more about this than I do.
No, I don't actually know a lot more about this, but I know how complicated the Davinci Resolve software actually is, and you tend to go down burrow holes sometimes when you're not very good at it. And watching YouTube videos of how to use it tend to go too quick. So you do have to give yourself some serious time to learn how to use it to make the best of it. I've still yet to do that.
That is true. I have found actually that watching YouTube videos on it can work quite well. You get like 1 or 2 minute videos when you've got one thing that you want to do. You get a 1 or 2 minute video and go through it in about 10 minutes, looking at each stage. And I found that's worked for me. So I've done some funky stuff with it, like getting a bit of reverb on my voice. This is my beloved son, with him I am well pleased. You are, sorry. And I've done a little bit of smoke on some frankincense at Christmas, which was fun. But yeah, you don't have to do anything particularly flashy. And if you watch I would say a half-hour tutorial on how to do it, that worked for me. But yes, it downloading it straight away and coming from something very intuitive and looking at Davinci, you do feel like you're suddenly sat in the Starship Enterprise. Okay, has anyone else got any questions here?
I have a couple of queries. One is, Tim, I like the way you do your backgrounds and your green screen and so on. Is there occasionally a danger of that becoming a distraction? Do you think? I mean, is it the usual thing that it's balance and not overdoing it? Because you can end up, I mean, I don't think it happens with the ones I've seen you do, but I suspect if there are too many, you know, you're going to start switching off what the person's saying. And
yeah, I think so. I think I did that with some of my earlier videos. Since then I've tried to limit it a bit more. But yes, there is a distraction possibility. Once I put video footage of a drone flying over Redditch, and I had words going in front of my face, and I was trying to talk in between those two layers, and it was ridiculous. And my wife said that she tried to watch it, but it made her feel sick. So, yeah, it is a learning curve. Yeah, try not to do too much. But yeah, it's like anything, you know, everything in moderation.
And my second question was really one to do with your you had that circle and eye contact and so on. So, you know, if you're delivering a sermon, is the suggestion, as you say, rather than looking down and all the rest of it, and rather than sticking little post-it notes all around your screen, you actually would have the sermon on the screen, and as much as you can, you're actually, you know, looking at the camera. Because my camera's on the top of the, well, like probably everybody's, it's on the top of the screen that I'm looking at right now. But I could presumably be glancing at what's just below it and using that to read from. Yeah,
I take my camera off and put it in the ring light. But what I do is I put my sermon on Word, on Microsoft Word, and I take my glasses off because I'm old now, and I bump the font up to like 0.16, so that I can actually read it because I'm old, and that then I read it straight from the screen, and that works for me.
Right.
Everyone, you will of course all find your own working style, but that's what I do.
So you're saying you've got a camera that attaches that, or you've got a separate camera? Like
yeah, I've got a separate camera. Okay. If yours is inbuilt to your monitor, then yes. get the Word, collapse the thing at the top so it's very thin, and the toolbar at the top, and have the words centered directly below your camera, right. And scroll up regularly. Don't read down the page until you're at the bottom and then look up. Scroll down.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks.
I feel I'm teaching my grandmother to suck eggs here.
No, that's helpful.
Okay. Tim, what camera have you got?
I've got a Logitech 1080p, which I got from the pawn shop downtown. I didn't pay full price for it. I paid about 30 quid. I've looked it up on YouTube, on Amazon. It's about 100. So yeah, going to the
cash converters and all those.
Yeah, cash converters. And
I'm surrounded by at work. Yeah.
It's worth it because they'll have one or two, but don't go below 1080p. If you can get 4K, golden. But you know, you don't need it. 1080p is enough. That's HD.
Keith's worried because I've got a church credit card.
I can cancel it.
And there speaks the treasurer. Okay. Any other questions?
Tim, just a small question.
Yep.
Sorry, Tim, can you hear me?
I can. I'm waiting for a small
just a small question. Our son is a filmmaker, and he always uses Apple, and I'm an Apple computer. But I didn't understand most of the words you used about what you do. But do you use Apple?
I don't. I use a PC because I've always used a PC. It's not because PCs are necessarily better. In fact, for graphic design and for filmmaking and film editing, I believe Apple are the market leaders. I don't have that because I have much more versatile use of the for my thing, and I don't like Apple, but don't tell Steve Jobs. You know, it's a good they are fantastic machines, and they are maybe even a little bit better than. The good news is Davinci works on Apple as well as on PCs.
Okay, thank you.
Apple also come with a thing called iMovie, which is a simple editing tool, So you actually get more in the box than what you would get with a PC.
You can also use an iPad to do that, which is what I do most of mine on these days.
Yeah,
I
use the
use an
iMovie.
iPad and iMovie to edit it. It's a lot simpler than any other way, really. Yeah. I have a Mac laptop as well, but it's but the problem isn't actually the fact it can't run stuff. The fact is they come with quite small hard drives, so it's managing your space.
I have a terabyte of external hard drive, so I save everything off my actual hard drive. And I found that has actually sped up my computer considerably. So I constantly have my external hard drive plugged in, and also my fairly hefty memory stick, which I carry around with me to lessons for teaching materials. Although I have had to migrate a lot of my sermons and stuff off there because of video making.
It does take up a lot of space to store.
It does. But there's no. It's not. You can get a good external hard drive for about 30-40 quid, and it will store everything you need for a good few years of solid production. Okay. Now the exercise for this was going to be to go into breakout rooms and discuss your recording space. Would you like to do that, or shall we move on, because we seem to have done this quite well just here in a big group?
Move on.
Move on.
We'll move on. I think.
Okay, we can do that, because otherwise we'll be here all night. But yeah, let's talk about metadata. Metadata, yay! This is a wonderful word, but it's not nearly as exciting as it sounds. This is a messy slide. I apologize in advance. First, I want to talk about thumbnails. The thumbnails are the first thing that people see. And there's things that you need to remember about them, because there is a particular skill in making thumbnails. And if you don't do it well, it becomes obvious. So, first one, faces. Let's have a look at an example. Here's Mike Winger, I mentioned earlier, Bible thinker, and he's made a video about the Ravi Zacharias scandal, and he's put Ravi up there. He's got two faces, easily recognizable, easily relatable to, and some text between them. When you're putting faces up there, you want to take a picture of a face. You want to increase the saturation, the brightness, the sharpness, and the contrast. Maybe not up to maximum, because that makes it ridiculous, but push it up. Push those up so that the faces are really standing out from the crowd. Because if you look at you're looking at a lot of thumbnails, remember, something like 70% of your viewership will be watching this on a mobile phone. So they've got very small thumbnails, about the size of, well, a thumbnail. So you've got to get the information very, very clear and very limited. Let's have a look at another example. Here's one from What Do You Meme? There's John McRae and his wife. And again, you've got clear faces. They're making faces. John McRae looks quite angry there. His wife looks quite scared. This is good. They're communicating emotions with their faces. This is something that they want. Their background is blurred, but their faces are popping out. You can see who they are and you can see what's going on. And they've got that clear, limited information. Notice they've got 4 words on there. Prosperity, preachers, in quarantine. They've got 4 words, and that's standing out. Here's David Wood, one of the most popular Christian apologists on the net today, focuses on Christianity and Islam. And he's got his one here, and he's pulling a face looking at the Quran. Contradictions in Allah's eternal speech. All of those words standing out, bold. His face clearly visible. His background's a bit messy, to be honest. I think he could do with having blurred that out a bit. But who am I to judge? The guy's got hundreds of thousands of subscribers. There's Mike Winger again. Boom! 4 words. The abomination of desolation. Now, these are keywords. These are things that are going to catch people's imagination. And there's Mike with a happy, smiling face. Yay! Big booms. Then you've got John McCrae and his wife again. Same idea. Faces very clearly visible. The horrifying truth. This is actually about create your own religion. It's quite an entertaining video, which I recommend to you. Did Jesus pray like a Muslim? Big words and a face. Jesus raises a dead girl. If you think about film posters, the majority don't have lots of images of the film. What they have is they have the face of the main actor. That's what is the thumbnail of the film when on the side of the DVD. Hollywood know what they're doing. Learning from them is a good idea. So yeah, there are some examples of good thumbnails and what you want on them. I use Canva, which is a little bit like it's like Adobe Premiere. It's something like that, but or Photoshop, but it's free and it's much easier to use. If I were cleverer, I would probably invest in Photoshop. I am not that clever. Canva works very, very well. I will give you a code for Canva in a moment or two. Titles. Now, here's important. Here's something that's important. With your titles, differentiate your title from your thumb. So when you have a thumbnail, Jesus raises a dead girl, make the title something different. Because people look at that, they think, oh, that looks interesting. If the title's exactly the same, then, it's not telling you anything else. Remember, you're trying to get people to click on your video. You're trying to use clickbait. The difference is we're not trying to use clickbait in the wrong way. We're trying to do it in the right way. So we want people to click on them, and then we want to deliver on the promise, as I said earlier. No dates. Do not. I've watched several people giving advice on this. People I'll reference in a moment. Do not put the date of the sermon on sermon or talk in the title because it's irrelevant. It becomes irrelevant the next morning. If you're saying this is the daily devotional for the 15th of February 2021, on the 16th of February, it's irrelevant. If you say this is if you're putting on a title, did Jesus really exist, and you then take a proof text and you expose that proof text, suddenly that's something that's clickable for the rest of eternity. So don't put a date on. Don't start your title with the reference of the text reference, because people won't be fully interested in that.
Tim.
Hello.
Can you tell me what the difference between the title and the Jesus raises a dead girl is?
I can do better than that. I can show you. That is such a good question. I'm going to show you. This is Acts 17 Apologetics. 500,000 subscribers. So this is big news. This is David Wood's channel I mentioned earlier. If you have a look at the second video on there, it says Ravi's final message to the world. And that's clickable. I want to know what that is. But I've lost a bit of faith in Ravi Zacharias. So what's going on? I look below. It says Making Sense. The title is Making Sense of the Ravi Zacharias Scandal. Does that make sense, David?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying is we should differentiate. And again, go on a little bit further. You've got a chap called Steve Harvey, face very clear. You've got George Orwell as well, but I'm skipping over him. Face very clear. Allahu Akbar. For an American audience, Steve Harvey is well known. I don't know who he is. I don't really care who he is. He's not important to my life. But to Americans, he's important. And therefore, the next thing, Steve Harvey proclaims Islam is a religion of peace. Anyone who goes to Acts 17 apologetics knows that Islam is not a religion of peace, and that's a grotesque perversion of what it is. And therefore, he will clearly... you know what you're getting from that video. He's made a promise. He says these are the claims that Steve Harvey has made, so you're keeping up with news. These are the and this is why he's wrong. So that's the difference between the title and the thumb. You'll notice none of these have dates apart from 1984, and that's a slightly different thing. And you'll see that all of these are something that perhaps you might want to click on because they're interesting. They're not too messy. There's not too much information on them. Let's have another look at another channel. Here's Mike Winger, who I mentioned before. And here's the type. We already looked at the Ravi Zacharias one. We must face this. 4 words, big, bold print, very clear, very easy to read. And then the title is What Ravi Did and Where We Go From Here. Hey, I want to know that. I want some hope. I want to actually know the facts of the matter. And I want it from someone I trust. I trust Mike Winger. He's worthwhile. Again, he's got almost 250,000 subscribers. He knows what he's talking about. He also has another channel which tells you how to do YouTube well for a Christian audience, which is worth subscribing to. And yes, you can see from his page what the differentiation is between the thumbs and the titles. And now to someone with considerably fewer views. 198 subscribers. Not a big channel, but a very, very good looking chap. This is, of course, my channel. And I want to point out the difference from when I was making videos and I just took a screenshot, the screenshot that YouTube suggested. For example, my Children of Light rock solid talk down there. There's me going halfway through a word. 6 views. That wasn't a success. My latest one, made on Canva, healing a mother-in-law for or against, 36 views. There were some other factors involved, including sharing it on Facebook and things like that. But there is you can see a sort of development of my putting different things together and trying to make my thumbnails better and clearer. This is something a journey I'm still on, but it's something I'm getting better at. For another example of that, look at this little channel. 36 subscribers. It's up to 39 now. This is my other YouTube channel, Oak Tree English. Feel free to subscribe, everyone. And this is one I use for English teaching, and also for poetry, reading poetry. So if we look, you can't really see. That's a shame. As you see, I've tried to put my face and a clear message. So if we look at a tribute to C.S. Lewis, for example, well, that's got 47 views. That's not bad for a little channel like mine. A tribute to Rudyard Kipling has even more, 55 views. Now, if I were doing this again today, I would probably do something like Rudyard Kipling, The Good, the Bad and the Ugly, because there's a lot of controversy about Rudyard Kipling. And then put a tribute to Rudyard Kipling below so that people know that I'm not going to be saying all nasty things about him. So that is thumbs, titles, and I just want to say a quick word about end cards. You can only use these if you do not click that it's made for children. But it brings you to this screen, and you at the end of your video you can put up a video that is related, that someone who has been watching your content might want to watch as well from your channel. So you're creating clicks, you're creating traffic for your own channel, and also can subscribe to your channel from there. That means you don't have to end every video with "Please subscribe to my channel, please subscribe to my channel, please, please, please click on the bell," which gets boring when you watch it on every single YouTube video. You just have this at the end, and they know where they're going. People who use YouTube know that you want them to subscribe to your channel. You don't have to say it. Any questions before I put you into breakout rooms? I'll take that as a no. So let's have an exercise. I would like you, please, in breakout rooms to create a thumbnail for the content exercise video. So a video, if you're doing a video about Genesis 3:16 or 1 Samuel 3:16 or Acts 3:16. God, I love the 3:16s. I'd like you please to use canva.com to create a thumbnail. And very quickly, let me share that in chat. Oh no, that's the wrong one. Oh, bananas. Hold on just a second. Don't go anywhere. Stay where you are. Let's try this again. Put that up there. Boom. And that's better. If you use this code in Canva, then and subscribe to Canva, I get free stuff. If you don't want to do that, I perfectly understand, but I'm just putting it out there so that I can get some freebies. Yeah, please go to canva.com, use the code or don't use the code, it's up to you, and in your groups create a thumbnail. So where did I put breakout rooms? Are you ready to go to your breakout rooms? Oh, only one of you in any breakout room needs to have Canva up, and you share your screen so that you can work collaboratively. Okay. 3, 2, 1.
Tim, would you excuse me? I'm gotta go.
No problem. No problem. Yeah, of course.
That was brilliant. Very, very good. Thanks.
I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Would I have missed much?
No, that was the last section.
Great. All right. I'll catch up soon.
Excellent. Good to see you.
Yeah.
Here you go. Oh, here he is. He's the boss. Stand to attention.
Just to let you know, Charles has had to go.
Okay.
We have overrun slightly, so I apologise for that. But I only apologise slightly because I'm enjoying myself.
Okay.
So yeah, one of you needs to log on to Canva and share your screen. You should all be able to share screens.
I'm on there. I'm on there. Post disabled participant screen sharing, it says.
That is very rude of me.
I think so.
Now you have.
All participants, that should be who can start sharing with someone else. All participants, multiple participants can share simultaneously. No,
Yeah.
oh, that's just silly. Okay.
Okay.
That should
All right.
do it. Sorry
You
about
see
that.
that
That was
then?
rude. So you can see where we are. If you go down I see you found YouTube thumbnails. That's perfect. Go to
Yeah,
Untitled.
there's
That's
an
it.
option. There's an option here, YouTube thumbnail on that page once you log in.
So just think of a background.
Yeah, and there's all the different sort of preset options down the side that you can use. I rather like a puppy. Yeah. So it's actually very easy. Actually very easy to get started, isn't it?
It is. I'll see in a bit. I'll go to the other
Okay.
rooms.
Yeah. Have you got anything?
If we can go to the Canva, they'll have different things there that you pick.
It's got down the black side. Have you got this on yours? Because you seem to know it better than I do.
Yeah, I've used it before. Problem is, how do I get into?
Just tell me where I'm going. I've got.
Yeah, you're on YouTube now. You need to move on to Canva again. Where's Canva gone?
That's what I was just
I
trying
do
to
like
find.
the fact that you're searching Way of the Lion.
Go back.
Go back.
Go back on the browser.
Yep.
It's all right. I've used Canva before, but Keith hasn't. But he's got it up. So just to
right. Home.
You're still sharing.
You're sharing your desktop rather than your thingy. So, by the way, I love the fact that you're searching Way of the Lion.
You tried. It doesn't come up much, but I tried.
No, if you search Narnian apologetics, you come straight to me.
Ah, right. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So, where do you want me to go from here?
We need the Canva up. We've still got Way of the Lion YouTube.
Oh, you've got that one. That's why.
Yes.
Ah, I'm on the. I picked the wrong one.
That's all right.
Why. So we'll unshare that for a minute.
Yeah.
And we'll go and share the other one. The Canva. Sure. That one.
That's
Winner. Well done.
And YouTube thumbnail, it looked like it had some interesting things actually. Look, search for the YouTube thumbnail because you'll end up scrolling forever otherwise.
I think I started on thumbnail and it.
Yeah, there
we go.
Yeah.
And you just pick one, basically. Pick one you like the look of.
Oh, where am I? There we go.
Gosh. I would pick one.
Hang on, holistic wellness. Why not? That's exactly what you're talking about.
Exactly. Yes. Right.
Okay, so I would think I might have picked one with a photo, but that's all right.
Yeah, because you're going to say "Here I am," aren't you?
Yeah, but we said our strapline was "Are you listening?"
It's a text box.
Well, let's see. Can you trust?
No, it's not. It's making.
It's okay. That's okay. If you go to the minus button next to where it says 523 at the top, the minus button, it'll shrink it down for you. There you go.
Do it more quickly than that.
Yeah, you did. I would type in something like 200 in there.
Oh, 200.
There you
Can you trust? Will it let me continue?
Can you trust this eyewitness account?
Yes, but is that too long?
Probably, yeah.
Well, maybe just have eyewitness, because obviously they're saying something if they're an eyewitness, aren't they?
Yeah, can you trust as an eyewitness? Good. Can I just say you've picked the poster template?
Yes, which I shouldn't have done.
Instead of the YouTube thumbnail.
So if I go back to templates, where are all the choices?
Yeah, go. So where it says search templates, go for YouTube thumbnail.
I had never heard of the word thumbnail other than an ordinary word before tonight. So, there's a lot of learning going on here.
Wonderful.
Well, yes, except I'm not very likely to begin to create them.
Well, you never know. It's worth having these skills and knowing where this stuff is. I use this for memes, for creating memes and putting them on Facebook, for creating the poster that you saw advertising this session. Yeah.
Gethin, my son, who's 13, has already just gone on the other computer and started thumbnails and introductions for Emmanuel Church after listening to you, Tim.
Hey,
Man after your own heart, isn't he? Big Tim.
he's a good lad. He's a good
He's
lad.
a good lad, yeah.
Does he remember who I am?
Of course he does. Big Tim. And when he sees Phil,
I
he'll
seem to
just...
have only got posters. I don't seem to have got a thumbnail, I'm afraid.
Okay, if you can keep going like that, or you can start again. I would click on home and go from there actually, but it doesn't matter. Okay then.
Hi.
How you doing?
Good.
Good stuff. Yeah, there, right at the top. Go to the search bar at the top, Ros.
Yes.
And put YouTube in there. There it is, straight away.
YouTube.
A YouTube thumbnail.
Thumbnail. Got
That's
it.
the chicken.
Rosalind's got it on her computer, so that's why she's doing it. And we're all learning from Rosalind.
Not really. So which one do you fancy, guys? Which one do you want?
I don't know.
Anyway, we really haven't got very much time, have we?
I'm afraid not. Sorry. I'll send a message. One.
With a bit more time, we could do it. We know what we've got the basis of what we've got to do. Yeah.
Okay, I'm saying 1 minute more, and then I'll close all the rooms in a minute, and we'll come back. But this is good. Here we go. My trip to India. Well, you know, maybe it was India. Maybe it was Thomas. What you've got there, the reason you've got a watermark on there is because you've got a premium one, a pro one.
I want a free one, don't I?
Yeah, yeah. So if you click, I don't know, the one below or whatever, there, that one.
Might that be cheap?
Free. Should be free.
Or free.
Oh, maybe not that one. Okay. I'm not helping here, am I?
I don't know, but what you're saying is it won't have Canva on it if it's a free one.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah, this is really not my thing. I get headaches badly fiddling around on computers. But at least I produced a son who makes films.
Yes, that's very impressive.
I think they're just a different generation, like your generation, not my generation. Anyway, we got an idea, didn't we, guys?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. No, honestly, that's been good. That's useful. Got an idea what it's about.
Yes.
Okay.
Half an hour.
If we ever wanted a thumbnail, we would have a better idea.
I'll give you a call.
Don't call me. Call Tim.
Welcome back.
Yeah.
Did anyone get round to actually downloading their thumbnail?
We tried. Did you manage to download it, Keith? It wasn't finished, was it? But
Oh, of course not. Grief. I'll do it. I'll just do it again.
I use Canva for producing. I produced a thing for the Fellowship of the King recently on quiz. That was done by Canva. I produced a meme the other day with Boris Johnson and Jesus saying different things. Yeah, I couldn't sleep. I did that at 5 o'clock in the morning on Canva on my phone.
Right, that's me.
And so it's. Oh, look at that! That was really good.
Are you listening? About. Yeah.
But 5 minutes messing around.
Yeah.
And you can produce something that's actually quite high quality. You've got the idea of having a few bold words and some faces.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good.
We were talking too much.
Not necessarily a bad thing either. So, just to finish off the epilogue here, because we have overrun, other people to listen to, because I am not an expert. I'm just giving you some pointers. There's a chap called Timothy Yee who has a YouTube channel called Timothy Yee. There's Mike Winger who really knows what he's talking about. He's good to watch on his main channel, and I get a lot of my sermon ideas from him. I steal his material regularly. but he's also got another one called YouTube Chat Tactics with Mike Winger, and that's well worth watching. And he goes into a lot more detail than we can in an hour workshop, or hour and a half workshop as it is becoming. Sorry about that. AJ, the CEO, he's specifically looking at church YouTube use. He's very good on the technical side, particularly for live streaming, which I know. Who was it who was interested in live streaming? Was that you, Keith? I can't remember. Anyway, John. It might have been John. But interested in live streaming. We haven't got there. The Baptist Church hasn't yet quite got there, but we're heading in that direction eventually, possibly, maybe. Who knows? Sarah's looking askant at me. Don't say things like that. Brady Shearer. He's a textbook case of ADHD, I would say. I don't know. I haven't seen his medical records or anything, but he talks fast and he's very animated, and it's a little bit like, you know, put a bumblebee in a bottle and shake it up and you get Brady Shearer. He's very, very good at using YouTube for churches. All of these guys are Christians. They're all interested in spreading the gospel through the medium of YouTube. They are people who I recommend to you. Over to you. What have you learned? What has actually been useful? What is your takeaway from today?
Canva.
Yeah. It's a really powerful and useful tool.
Microphones and audio is really important.
Really important. I can't overstate how important audio is. I've invested a lot of money in getting an arm to stretch my microphone around so it does that, and you know, the nice surround. I think microphones very important. What else? Thumbnails. Yeah. Sorry, Alistair.
Eye contact. Yeah. We do it automatically when we're just talking to people, but we tend to forget about it when we're making videos. Well, I do.
Well, I think the complication is what I mentioned earlier is where you have your prompts and your words. That's the complication.
Yeah.
But you're right, actually, that when you have it on a screen, it doesn't show on the video. When you can read it off the screen and it doesn't show. Sorry,
that's slightly aside, but if you know, for example, I'm speaking, as you know, in church on Sunday, and it's live, so I could have the words even though it's gone Zoom and it's being recorded. And what's being recorded then? Not my face is being recorded.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
There's a really useful key on your keyboard which has saved my life numerous times, which is the Windows key at the bottom. So when you're in full screen on PowerPoint, when you're in full screen on Zoom, you can press that key and you can go to other applications and no one else can see.
Anyway, so I don't want to take other people's time, but maybe just as we finish in a minute, Tim or Tom or whoever can Roz and I just have a quick chat about Sunday?
Yes, of course.
Yep. Now, for me, thumbnails were a revelation. I don't have to take the dreadful screen grabs that they put up at the end. I can actually put my own up and it'll look better.
Well, yours has been okay because you have that video at the beginning with a bit of music, don't you? So that's what comes.
I do.
That comes up for you.
Oh, is that what's coming up?
Yeah.
It didn't used to. They used to take 3 grabs throughout the video, and it'd be like a swirl of something going on somewhere.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
And apparently, I have to take my dates off because I've always dated mine, so I need to take those off.
I'm not being critical. This is what I've learned from other people. Yeah. Every one of these, Timothy Yee, Mike Wing, AJ, CEO, Brady Shearer, they all say the same thing: don't use dates because it dates it immediately.
Wider, isn't it? Because I'm only thinking of it a narrow Sunday application, but other people could come across it.
Yeah. And actually, if the channel grows, if the Reddish Baptist Church channel grows, then we're preaching the gospel to more people all around the world. And if we get 30, 40, views. Every single view of a sermon that is preaching the gospel is valuable.
Yeah.
And it could be that one life is saved. If we make 1,000 videos in our lives and only one person gets saved, it's worth it.
Yeah.
It is worth it in the economy of heaven. Anyway, any other, what else? Has anyone else got anything else? Yes, John, sorry.
Can I just ask, what do you think of this kind of microphone, the kind you just clip around your neck? Are these any good as a sort of middle ranking option for recording videos?
They can be excellent. It depends on the quality of the microphone. Again, here I would defer to Keith, but I would say yes. It depends on the quality of the microphone, and it so long as you don't gesticulate too much and just hit it accidentally, because that causes a lot of feedback and distortion. But apart from that, yeah, I think that they can be excellent. Keith, would you agree with that?
Yeah, I mean, a small desk one in front of you can be more sturdy, particularly if you've got it on a soft base, so you aren't picking up any acoustics off anything else as well. What I always found really fascinating was listening to one of the Archer's actors who was explaining how she was told by the British Broadcasting Corporation to record because she had to do it from home. And if you remember, the Archers were doing it as monologues. And she got the kit. So the broadcast kit turned up, the recording stuff, and the instructions came through. And she went through it and she realized the place she had to do her recording studio, was away from the road noise at the front. So her daughter's bedroom in the back. She took all the clothes out of her daughter's bedroom, stuffed the wardrobe with duvets, put a chair in, put the mic in, and did her recording like that. So if you want a benchmark from the British Broadcasting Corporation, it's go into your daughter's bedroom with a duvet cover over your head. But it's interesting because that's a very dull noise. You just hear the voice and you don't hear backgrounds. And it's quite interesting when you're hearing a lot more these days, because people are doing so much Zoom, actually having a little bit of realism in the room, in the audio, seems to be more comfortable these days than just trying to do it as a pure studio broadcast. But, anyway, I just thought they might. It always makes me smile, that one. I always tell those people in our church, if they're going to do a reading, stick a duvet cover over your head. I've got everybody, all these imagination of them actually doing it, you know.
Excellent.
Anyway,
good.
Thank you, Tim. Thank you.
Yes, ever so much.
Many thanks.
That was.
I hope that was in some way useful.
Very.
Indeed, it is.
Great. If you only took away one or 2 points, then that's great. If you have any questions, please feel free to email Keith, or email me and I'll pass it on to Keith. No, if you have any questions, feel free. If you would like a copy of the PowerPoint, I can send that on to you. Just request it on booking at Redditch Baptist, and we'll take it from there. Okay. Thank you very much for coming. Lovely to see you all. Lovely to meet some of you.
Oh, thanks ever so much.
Thanks very much.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
And some of us are sticking around for Alistair's question.
Just very quickly, a few queries. Thank you.
Cheers, Joe.
Yeah, I'm trying to.
I see what you're doing. Yeah.
I don't actually know how to leave. Sorry, it's only my third soon.
I'll say leave.
I'll try and do it somehow. Sorry. Yeah.
Well done. No problem. Don't worry.
Just to make sure that Ros and I know what we're doing on Sunday. Right. So we've obviously we're logged in. Let's just run through it. We're logged into Zoom like we normally do.